Hi, we've reached the end of the first week, and now you have a little better idea of what's going to be happening throughout the semester in international environmental policy. It was really interesting for me to hear from each of you why you're taking the course, and to hear also what you think the major environmental issues are. A lot of you focused on pollution, especially plastic. Some mentioned air pollution, and some of you mentioned deforestation. It'll be interesting to see at the end of the term if your ideas have stayed the same. I wanted to give you a little bit of a preview of what's happening next week. Our weeks start on Monday, they end on Sunday. So for next week, you will owe me your first assignment, which is worth 10% of your grade. That's an essay, and you'll find that information in Canvas. Also, each of the teams has been filled now, assuming that we don't get any other students coming into this course. All four of them are filled, and the one in freshwater has only 3. But by the end of the week, I also want to have the subtopics for each of your teams that each member of the team will be addressing. And I also want the list of who will be the leaders and the rapporteurs each week for your team. You can have the same leader for a couple of weeks in a row. You can switch off every week. Same thing for the rapporteurs. It all depends on how you want to organize your team. Substantively, next week is going to focus on who the major players are globally. So you'll be introduced to a couple of UN agencies. My PowerPoint is in there, and I have to admit it's not my best effort, but it did get the job done, I hope. So you'll have an idea of who the players are and what they're charged with and how they got organized and when they got organized and that sort of stuff. Also, there's a very long video. It's one of the longest ones. It's 46 minutes that talks about sustainability. You've probably heard about sustainability and sustainable activities. There's a lot of talk these days about sustainability, but what does it really mean? And is it kind of bogus? Is there any truth to it? Is there any meaning? Is there any depth? You'll also learn about what are called the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, which were put forth through the UN. They replaced the Millennium Development Goals, which were not achieved, and we're not on track to achieve the SDGs either. But there's a lot of talk about them in global circles, and so I think it's important for you to learn about them as well. I'll be having office hours, as usual, Tuesday at 5 o'clock via Zoom. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to check in. I hope that you will all have a nice weekend. I'm going to open up week 3 because on the Zoom call this week, people requested that there always be 2 weeks of activities available so that you can work ahead if you want to. Also, as you may have seen, I posted who's going to be giving the individual presentations for each week. We're going to start in week 3 with 1 presentation by Jason, and then we'll move on from there up through week 14 with 2 presentations per week. If you have any questions, send me an email, show up at the office hours. If anyone wants to talk with me outside of office hours, send me a message and I'll make sure to make myself available for you. I hope you have a nice weekend, and thanks for being part of this. Bye.